In the final days of World War II, as the defeat of Nazi Germany became inevitable, underlying tensions among the United States, the United Kingdom, and the Soviet Union, long submerged beneath the necessities of wartime cooperation, began to surface. These strains, rooted in ideological differences, wartime strategy, and competing visions for the post war world, would soon crystallize into the geopolitical rivalry known as the Cold War. The most significant point of contention was the future of Eastern Europe, particularly Poland. As the Red Army liberated and effectively occupied the region, Stalin resolved to install friendly governments to create a strategic buffer zone. This clashed directly with the Western commitment to self-determination articulated in the Atlantic Charter. Although the Yalta Conference in 1945 produced agreements that nominally promised free elections, their ambiguity allowed Stalin to tighten Soviet control. To U.S. and British leaders, these actions represented clear violations of earlier commitments and signaled Soviet expansionism. Military developments further fueled political friction. The race to reach Berlin became a symbolic contest for influence in the post-war settlement. Disagreements over strategy, such as Eisenhower's decision to halt at the Elbe and let the Soviets take the capital, reflected not just military considerations but competing political goals. Each side understood the territory captured in the final weeks would shape occupation zones and, by extension, the political future of Europe. Diplomacy grew more tense after Germany's surrender in May 1945. The transition from Roosevelt to Truman brought a marked shift in U.S. posture, with the new president more willing to confront Soviet actions in Eastern Europe and in the administration of occupied Germany. Churchill, too, privately warned that a, quote, Iron Curtain, unquote, was descending across the continent. Disputes over reparations and governance became sharper through the summer, eroding what remained of Allied unity during World War II. The successful American test of the atomic bomb in July 1945 transformed the strategic landscape. While it strengthened U.S. leverage, it also deepened Stalin's suspicions and accelerated the Soviet nuclear program, laying groundwork for the arms race. By the war's end, the alliance was already fracturing. The unresolved conflicts over territory, ideology, and security created precisely the conditions from which the Cold War would emerge. However, it's extremely important to note the Cold War as a budget policy prioritizing a massive increase in military spending only started around the same time as the Korean War.